So welcome to our next DIY video. In this video we're going to be changing these horrible old 1960s doors. We're going to do it DIY style. Of course it'd be easier just to pay a proper joiner to come in and do it, but sometimes you can't get them in just to change one door, which is the way we're doing it. There's even plaster down the back of one of them. I have to excuse the flute in the background, that's my daughter practicing. Anyway, on with the video. So as you can see, we've got these horrible old hinges on the doors. Going to replace these. This is the ideal time if you want to change the swing of the door, to swing it from this side. That's probably easier, but we're going to keep it as it is. And just in case you're wondering why I've got a chest of drawers and a wardrobe in our corridor, we're renovating the whole house, so that's all part of the renovation process. We're going to get these old hinges off. Sometimes you have to just give the screw a little tap with a hammer. In fact, you can see this one, it's really strange angle. That's actually the angle the screw is in. And just a quick gross area check to make sure you've got the right door. We'll start fitting the hinges and things. Always important to read the instructions as well. You can only take so much off the two sides on the top and bottom. And with this, if there was a big change, you'd want to take an equal amount off both sides, especially with these decorative panels. Otherwise it'd look a bit strange. Okay, so we're going to look at fitting the hinges. As again, for DIYers, the main thing is that we get the same top and bottom. Professional joiners fit them in different ways. Some fit them hard up against, simply placing a hinge like that. But I personally tend to align that bit there with the edge of the door. You do that top and bottom and make sure you've got the same part of the hinge on the door frame and on the door, then it should all line up perfectly. On the top I tend to work 150mm down, and from the bottom 210 up. And you'll also notice the H with the arrow, which is what I use just to show where the hinge bar is going to be. Okay, and the next part then, which helps to give a nice tidy kit, is just to mark around it with a nice sharp Stanley knife. Obviously minding your fingers. Okay, and now tap it around the edge of the hinge. All the way around. And then go across the hinge, making sure you don't go past the cut. Just keep trying the hinge. And pretty close. I just need to be off that top bit. Okay, that's pretty good. Right, so now you've done the chiseling, just give it a little sand out just to make sure everything's nice and tidy, no burrs. And especially this back edge, you want that to be nice and smooth and flat. Once you've done that, you then mark the centre of each hole. And really important, drill a little pilot hole. And then just put a couple of screws in, one top and one bottom. And do the same on the bottom. As we mentioned, it's this time 210 on the bottom of the door. Okay, so as you could see previously, we had quite a big gap down here. As the door opens into the corridor, you couldn't really leave that. So we've just sunk the hinge a bit further into the door frame. There's actually a knot here, you can see, which made chiselling this out quite difficult. So we chiseled it out, but I ended up having to put a little bit of packing into here to just sit the door exactly where I wanted it. Okay, so we've got an even gap down this side now. I checked the top of the set square before we fitted the door, and the door frame is actually square. If it's not, that will alter where you put the door, so you can alter the top. And next then, the only bit that's binding is this bit down here. Ideally you want to give probably a 3 or 4 mil gap, allow for expansion and obviously to paint the door. So about this point here is where 3 or 4 mil gap starts to run out. And then down at the bottom, we've got a little mark here, and then we can measure that on the inside of the door frame. Put the mark here, draw a line straight away up to that point there, and then plane that to fit in the door frame nice and square. We've measured this gap from here to here, marked on the door, but as a gross error check, you can only drill the door once. Just make sure that the die is in the centre of the hole. you.